There is a school of magic no one ever told you existed, but something inside you always knew. And to enter it, I'm going to ask you to breathe deeply through your nose. Release the air through your mouth and close your eyes. And if a worm comes, or a knot, or something with no name, breathe into your belly. It's just the body saying it's listening. And now, let yourself go. With every breath you take, with every word I speak, and with every note of the music, everything helps you go deeper. And as you hear my voice goes with you. And you will hear my voice in exactly the way that is right for you. And now, imagine above you a beautiful golden light. A beautiful golden light beginning to shine above your head. Imagine this light has the texture of silk, soft as liquid honey. See it descending slowly over your head, relaxing your scalp, your mind, allowing thoughts to drift away. With every breath you take and every word I speak, let that golden light move down into the muscles of your face. Relax your forehead, your eyebrows, the small muscles beside your eyes. Let it flow down into your jaw, your neck. Imagine that this golden light carries everything you need, everything you desire in your life, everything you could wish for. Allow it to move down your arms, into your forearms, your wrists, your hands. Relax your fingers. Relax your nails. Relax the fine lines of your fingertips, your unique markings. And with every breath, you soften more. Let the golden light move down your spine, relaxing your back, vertebra by vertebra, through muscles, bones, organs, cells, through your lungs, between your ribs, into your heart, breathing easily, comfortably. Let it descend into your chest, belly, your legs, your knees, your feet. Relax your feet. Relax your toes. And now, imagine before you a staircase that descends. At the top, a sign. And on that sign, you can read Luminara, the school of magic no one ever told you existed. A school that has always been here, always waiting for you. Before you, 12 steps, each a different color, like a rainbow descending into the earth. And each step glows as your foot touch it. 12. The first step is gold. It glows as your foot touch it. Warm, radiant. 11. Deep green. It lights up as you step on it, and the world above begins to fade. 10. White. A pure white that illuminates everything around you. 9. Honey. Warm and soft. 8. Violet. A violet light that pulses slowly. 7. Silver, like moonlight. 6. Midnight blue, dark as a moonless sky, and the silence deepens. 5. Turquoise, like a calm sea. 4. Rose, soft as the first light of morning. 3. Celestial blue, clear and crisp as spring water. 2. Mother of pearl, softly shimmering with the reflected light. 1. Ruby, warm, deep, the last step. You have arrived. Before you stands a vast crystal door. It opens as you approach, and you enter. The space is larger than you expected. Crystal walls glow with the warm light that seems to breathe with you. Corridors open in many directions. Doors, rooms in the distance, and the scent of lavender and jasmine that your body recognizes before your mind does. You are in Luminara. You walk along the corridors. The crystal walls light up as you pass and fade again behind you. The floor shifts color beneath your feet. The air smells faintly of lavender and rosemary, and you hear voices somewhere in the distance. 2 teachers speaking beside the crystal doorway. They are not speaking to you, nor about you, but you hear them. There are people who spend their whole lives lowering their own volume so they do not take up too much space. And then they wonder why nobody hears them. It is not the volume. It is not believing that their note has the same right to sound. The words linger in the air. They are not meant for you, yet something within you hears them. You pass a room where the voice of an open book drifts softly into the corridor. It is not speaking to anyone. It simply reads. There were those who played other people's melodies for so long and so well that everyone around them was satisfied. Only when they stopped did they remember how their own sounded. It was different from what they expected, simpler, deeper, and more theirs than any melody they had ever played before. On the crystal wall between two doors, a sentence is engraved, ancient, as if it has been there for centuries. To tune is not to change what you are. It is to remove the noise so your melody can be heard. You keep walking. The air begins to change, lighter, clearer, like mountain air that the body inhales deeply without thinking. And with it comes the faint scent of something old, like resin from warm wood resting in sunlight. And you reach a door that opens as you approach. You enter the chamber of the Silver Harp. And the first thing you notice is the floor. Silver, like moonlight resting on still water. Yet, unlike any other floor in Luminara, when your foot touches it, a note sounds. Soft, brief, like a piano key pressed gently. And when the next step comes, another note, different. The floor holds music within it and releases it when someone walks across. The crystal walls here feel different. They vibrate very softly, as though sound passes through them rather than bouncing back. And within small niches in the walls, suspended in light, are ancient instruments. A crystal lute, a golden flute, an open music box, all silent, all waiting. Above you, on the ceiling, musical staves appear, drawn in silver light. Notes move slowly across them, as if the music is still being composed. And when the air in the chamber shifts, the staves shift with it. And in the center of the chamber, the harp, suspended in the air as though it grows upward from the silver floor without needing to touch it. Its strings are made of solidified light, fine, translucent, catching the silver glow of the chamber and holding it within them. Perhaps 12 strings, perhaps more. It is difficult to count. The light between them changes depending on the angle from which you look. The chamber is silent, but it's not an empty silence. It is a listening silence, as though the entire space is waiting for something. There is a small group here, 5 or 6 people standing around the harp, looking at its luminous strings. There is space for you, and you stand there as well. And from one corner of the chamber, slowly, with the attentiveness of someone who is always slightly listening, a woman approaches. Eyes that seem to hear more than they see. She moves around the harp without touching it, like someone who knows it well enough not to need to. This is the whisper of the winds, the teacher of this chamber. She looks at the group and remains silent for a moment, not gathering words, but listening, as though the group itself has a timbre and she wishes to hear it before she speaks. The whisper of the winds begins unexpectedly. She does not speak about the harp. She speaks about noise. There is a noise most people carry inside themselves. A noise they have grown so accustomed to that they no longer hear it. Yet, it is always there, constantly covering something that could be heard if it were not. She explains, with a voice that seems to know exactly how much space each word requires, that everyone is born with a melody, a frequency that belongs only to them, something no one else can reproduce in quiet the same way. And over the years, the timbre of that melody becomes covered by other voices, to avoid disturbing others, to fit more comfortably, to make those around them feel at ease. The noise is not bad. It once served a purpose, but with time, the melody loses height, and the person forgets how it once sounded. The whispers of the winds walks toward the harp, and as she approaches, even before she touches it, the harp responds. It descends gently, like someone bowing in greeting to someone they recognize. And without her touching it, one string begins to vibrate. The note that emerges is whole, long. With the timbre, the entire chamber receives and returns, softly amplified. She stands still, listening to the sound until it fades. Then she explains to the group. The harp hears what surrounds it. When what is near it is whole, the note sounds whole. When there is interference, the timbre changes. It is not wrong, it is simply different from what it might be. She looks at someone in the group, not at you, at the person standing to your left. She gestures gently for them to step closer to the harp, and then she moves a few steps away. The person approaches, and when they stand near the harp, a string vibrates. The sound is beautiful, but different from the first. Like a melody that has not quite reached its full height. It is not wrong. It is simply not yet complete. The whispers of the winds listens, and then says softly, "The harmony is there, but something rests above it and covers it. like when the humidity of wood changes and the tension of the strings shifts. The frequency falls slightly below what was once its own. The timbre belongs to them. What covers it does not. Then she returns slowly to stand beside the person. She does not touch the harp. She does not touch them. She simply stands there, attentive. And the harp sounds again, the same string, but this time the note rises fully, complete with the timbre that has always been its own. The silver floor catches the sound and returns it amplified, and the whole chamber resonates. The whisper of the winds turns to the group. Again, she looks at the person to your left and asks softly, "When was the last time you said something? Not to please, not to preserve someone else's harmony, but simply because it was truly what you felt." The person does not answer. They remain still with the question, and you feel it as well, somewhere in your chest. The whisper of the winds looks at the group and asks something simple: to close their eyes, to allow the noise to soften, not by forcing it away, not by pushing it aside, simply by letting its volume fall. And that is what you do. You close your eyes. Without searching for anything with your mind, you allow things to settle. The thoughts that spin, the concerns waiting in line, the voices that say how you should be. You do not push them away. You simply stop giving them space. And slowly, like a note lingering in the air, after it has been played, the noise begins to quiet. The whisper of the winds says softly, "Beneath everything you learn to be, there is a melody that has always been yours. It does not need to fill the room. It does not need approval. It only needs to be yours." Here you may listen, without hurry, without needing to name what you hear. The whisper of the winds walks slowly around the harp. She looks at the group, at each person, and when her gaze meets yours, there is the attentiveness of someone who hears things others cannot. She speaks almost in a whisper. If the noise were to disappear, what melody would remain? And within that silence, something inside you answers, not with words, with a feeling, like a timbre the body recognizes but has not allowed it to resonate for a long time. The question remains suspending among the threads of light, and the whisper of the winds gestures gently toward the harp, an invitation, not an instruction. You step closer. The strings of light are before you. The silver floor reflects them below as though there are two harps, one above and one below, and you stand between them. Notice which string draws your attention first, without choosing with your mind. And when you notice, it begins to vibrate. The silver floor receives the sound and returns it. And when the sound returns to you, you feel it in your chest before your ears hear it, as though your body recognizes it. The whisper of the winds stands nearby. She says nothing. She simply listens. Then she steps closer and stands beside you. And the two notes, the harps and her presence, vibrate together. And what you feel is not only sound. It is something your body once knew and your mind had forgotten how to hear. Like rediscovering a timbre that has always been yours and never belonged to anyone else. When the note vibrates fully, a musical staff appears in the air before the harp. Fine, silver, luminous, with a single line of notation, and beneath it, written as though it had always been there. There is a melody that belongs only to you. No one else can play it in quite the same way. The sound slowly fades. The staff dissolves into the air. Yet it does not disappear entirely. It remains within you, as something the body now knows where to keep. The whisper of the winds nods slowly, as though she has heard what she needed to hear. And if you remain in silence, you may hear a voice, not the whispers, not mine, your own, the one that comes from deep within, and it says, I have a melody that is mine. It does not need to fill the room. It does not need approval. When I stop covering it, it is there. It has always been there. And now, when you feel it's the right moment, you can leave the chamber. You step out, and as you do, the door closes softly behind you. You walk along the corridor. The crystal walls light up as you pass and fade behind you, as if the school knew exactly where you are. You notice more things this time. A light that changes color as you pass. A sound of music coming from somewhere. A scent that already feels like yours. And there's something different on the way back. It's not the corridor that changed, it's you. You reach the rainbow staircase, and you can climb slowly. 1. The ruby step glows when you touch it. 2. Mother of pearl. 3. Celestial blue. 4. Pink. 5. Turquoise. 6. Midnight blue. 7. Silver. 8. Violet. 9. Honey. 10. White. 11. Deep green. 12. Golden, the last step, and the light begins to reach you. You are almost back. You begin to feel your body, the weight of your body where you are, the temperature of the air on your skin, the sounds around you starting to return slowly. You can move your fingers, your toes, gently move your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and at your own pace, calmly, when you feel ready, let your eyes open. You're back. Your unconscious heard everything it needed to hear. You don't need to analyze it. Let it work. So if in the coming days you note anything different, a calm you weren't expecting, or a moment when you feel more you, it's not a coincidence. It's your unconscious working with what it received. And if the questions from this session come back at you at some point, in the shower, falling asleep, in the middle of the day, let them be. Because everything you heard, every voice, every phrase, every word that stayed. And it will keep working in there, in silence, at your own pace. And if you feel like coming back, Luminara is always open, beneath everything, waiting for you.